Have you never hired? Or maybe you have and you've had a recruitment fail your first time round? Or maybe you're just hoping to make your next recruitment process a little bit more seamless for your next hire. I'm Narelle from HR for Health Leaders, and I've got a few little tips for you today and a little freebie if you'd like to download it. So I've been working in HR for about 15 years, so I've done my fair share of recruitment, and I've also helped run an allied health clinic for 4 years, so I understand exactly how it works in our industry. So some of the tips I'm going to share is to, and this is just a brief overview, I've got a little bit more detail in the download, so I wanted to talk to you about making sure you've got position clarity, getting really clear on what you need from the candidate and what you're able to offer them. And think outside the box. If you're hiring a practitioner, are you thinking about what other skills or other activities you want them to be doing, if anything, when they're not treating clients? Make sure that when you draft your job ad, it clearly reflects the personality of your business. People want to work for you, not just have some job. Make sure that you shine through so that you attract candidates that really fit in with your culture. Also think about the questions you're going to ask during the application process and what that process actually looks like. How are you going to get candidates to engage in that? And what sort of questions are you going to ask when you get them on the phone to figure out if it's worth having them to come in for an interview? Are they going to make the shortlist, or do you need to scratch them off and not waste time interviewing them if you know they're not a good fit at that stage? Another key point is just to really think about what you're going to talk about during the interview phase and how you're going to manage that. We highly recommend having structured interview guides. Now, you don't have to be super structured and follow every question to the T, but it is a good reference point to make sure that you're talking about the same things with different candidates and to jog your memory if the conversation isn't flowing so clearly as it does sometimes. And lastly, think about reference checks. Sometimes people overlook these. Now, I will say that sometimes people will generally put down people that are going to give them good references. So you may or may not get a lot of negative information, but if you ask good questions, you also might get some useful insight into the person and how they might fit into your team and any downfalls that you can see potentially occurring. So that's it for today. If you'd like to grab your free download, you can put your details in below. There's all of this and there's a lot more detail contained in there, and I hope that's been really useful for you today.